we're going to go ahead and get started. So thanks for joining us today for this session of Build Your Career with SHC Connections. I'm Katie Dashiell, Content Marketing Manager at Supplemental Healthcare. Today, our focus is on our speech language pathologists. We're going to be discussing our Build Mentorship program and speaking to two of our mentors about their experience in speech with the program at SHC. So I'm really excited to be joined by Keely and Joanna from the School Center of Excellence team. They'll be talking about the history of our Build program and how a partnership with SHC can help your career. So I'll pass it over to Keely and then Joanna to introduce themselves.
Fantastic. Thank you, Katie. And thank you all for being here or replaying this link. My name is Keely Gibney, and I'm our Vice President of Schools here at Supplemental Healthcare. I've been working with Supplemental for just over 19 years and began my career as a physical therapist assistant, working with a staffing company, and in the last 5 years of my clinical work in a school district. So I have the privilege here every day to work in all things schools at Supplemental. And I get to work with our schools teams with wonderful people like Joanna. And Joanna, can you introduce yourself?
Thanks, Keely. Thanks, Katie. I'm Joanna. I work out of our East Centers of Excellence here out of Buffalo, New York. I've been with Supplemental Healthcare for about 7 years, started as a staffing manager on the allied side and also do nursing as well. Super excited to have you all with us today and so excited for you guys to meet our panelists today.
Awesome. Okay, thanks, ladies. So Keely, I'll let you start off by telling us more about the current job market and the history of the program.
Absolutely. So I can't believe it's been over 20 years that I've worked in healthcare staffing, and the demand for healthcare professionals has never subsided. There have been ups and downs with the allied healthcare reimbursement changes. However, the need for quality, creative clinicians has never declined. We know that to meet that demand of the fastest growing jobs, we have to be actively participating in career development process of those that we work with. So Supplemental Healthcare understands this and is focused on the solution to meet that need. We've done this through our relationships. So participation with clinical associations like national associations, ASHA, NASP, AOTA, as well as their state affiliates, and with universities nationwide. Our commitment and engagement with faculty and students has evolved over the course of the years, I should say. And it was clear early on that support in different clinical settings, and especially those school settings, was needed to have a supportive approach with career development opportunities to build that pool of professionals and meet that market demand. And most importantly, it's really fun. So who doesn't want a growth mindset and live in the curiosity of the next best thing? So to build the pool of talented professionals, our program evolved, starting from lead clinicians like SHC ambassadors that answered when we had questions about IEP goal setting, educational treatment ideas, and teacher and family participation, to now a more formalized structure with options for unique training to be offered. So first, we carved out a jumpstart document and we shared it with all new hires to the setting that they were working in. And it was a compilation of best practices from essential collaboration from those experienced SHC clinicians, really the experts with vast experience like Jackie and Kristen that you'll meet as our panelists. The next came Build in 2016. And this was a formal approach created for clinicians new to schools and for clinical fellow support. Supplemental Healthcare collaborated with two of the most highly respected leaders at ASHA and also CASHA, Jean Blosser and Holly Kaiser, to help us develop the program. And our SHC Build Your Future is 100% relationship-based. Like all things supplemental, this program provides the connected personal approach that offers details for really every person or personality type. And we do this because we truly care about the long-term success of both new clinicians joining our organization, as well as the client partnership that we've had for years that we place clinicians in. And most importantly, for the patient and the student lives that we touch every single day. Let's admit it, not one of us would be here today without the desire to improve the lives of others. You might wonder about the relationship or the connection when we speak to that. And a few examples are whether you join us as a recent graduate occupational therapist or an SLP clinical fellow or an experienced school psychologist, we've got your back. We're in the people business and understand that for long-term success, yours and ours, needs to meet the challenge and you'll need the support to get you there. Our mentors have strict qualifications and are screened for the best match of mentees with critical interview questions. We dig into the philosophy and how they best mentor or want to mentor team members. Our mentees are coached on performance. Not everyone can work successfully with the accountability in the program, and we want to establish those expectations up front for great results. And then our SHC team is dedicated to integrate the mentees and the mentors with staffing managers and client service managers to create a powerful connection and yield successful outcomes. We use our caring specialists in our school offices that understand the challenges in educational systems and the network that we have with community client partners with longstanding cooperation and relationships for knowledge and how to best match people with their mentors. We use technology, our IntelliMatch for client and talent specifications, efficiency and communication through texting and email, and then transparency and reporting, as well as people-driven connections, which really is the commitment to our world-class service. Our staffing managers and client service managers are in touch with clients and mentees and mentors on a weekly basis. And we don't just say that we do this, we actually have the third-party audits there at the bottom. They take survey feedback, they measure quality and quantify our delivery on an annual basis. So now that you've had an overview of how and what our program is, we'll introduce you to the panelists today.
Today, we're joined by two of our own, Kristen and Jackie. They're both SLPs with supplemental healthcare. Kristen is an SHC team liaison and works with Summit Academy in Ohio. And Jackie is a clinical mentor and works in St. Louis Public Schools in Missouri. So thanks for taking the time out of your busy schedules to speak with us today. Let's go ahead and get started with some questions for both of you. So the first question, I'll start with Kristen and then we'll hear from Jackie. So Kristen, what motivated you to pursue a career in speech pathology?
Good question. I started late in the game, probably in my later adulthood. But several factors led me to a career in speech pathology. First, I was a stay-at-home mom for about 11 years, and then some unforeseen circumstances changed all that, and I needed to find a career. I've always loved working with children. I had an undergraduate degree in elementary education. And after researching, I just found the niche. Speech just seemed to fall in my lap. And it really helped out that they offered an online program, which allowed me to stay home and raise my 5 children. So it kind of found me.
I too was a kind of a late bloomer. I tried going to college when I first graduated from high school. I hated it, so I dropped out. And then I got married and took some classes. And then my oldest child was diagnosed with a severe stuttering disorder. So I began to be introduced to the field of speech language pathology because of the therapist that worked with him. Also, one of my dear friends, her son was diagnosed with a hearing impairment. And as I watched the process and began to do some research also, I thought that's a field that I think I would really love. And so my sweet husband looked for a job in Lubbock, Texas, so that I could attend Texas Tech, and which is where I got my bachelor's and master's degree. And my son, who is a stutterer, became one of my biggest encouragers, because when I'd want to drop out, get freaked out and want to drop out, he'd say, no, you can't drop out, because there are going to be so many kids you're going to be able to help, just like the people helped me. So he's now a pastor in a church in Mississippi, and I just saw him over the weekend, and he wants free therapy whenever I see him. So we did talk about his stuttering, and it's very manageable now, but he's definitely been, he was the main reason that I went into this profession.
That's really cool. You both have really awesome backstories for how you got into that. So thanks for sharing that. So next up, we're going to hear more about your roles and experiences. So Jackie, I'll start back with you. Can you talk a little bit about your current position and experience and what you enjoy most out of working with student populations mentoring clinical fellows?
I have been in the profession for 25 years, and I have worked in Texas, Alabama, twice. We were in Missouri, then we moved to Chicago, then we came back to Missouri, so I'm in St. Louis presently. And I have usually worked in the inner city setting. I love working in the inner city. The children and just bring joy to my life. They teach me, and I have always loved that the most, is working with children. I also appreciate so much what parents are going through as they are trying to figure out how to deal with their children's disorders, how they need someone to kind of help them navigate the educational system and help them to better communicate with their classroom teachers so that their children can improve their educational as well as their social skills and be, more successful. So presently I am a mentor. I just work part-time, but I have 3 clinical fellows that I mentor. I really enjoy this position because I feel like, for one thing, I've been around a long time, so I have so much experience that I feel, but I learn from them too. They're so knowledgeable, and I enjoy being available for them. I think that when you are a mentor, you really need to be sure that you can be committed to those young people who are trying to get the information that they need on sometimes a daily basis. Sometimes they need a lot of help, and sometimes they don't need as much. But I really enjoy being available for them and learning from them, encouraging them, helping them to identify their strengths and weaknesses, and then find out what they need to do in order to keep on improving as they are really in the field of practicing.
Well, currently, I'm a speech pathologist at a school called Summit Academy. It's a school that centers its education around children with autism and ADD. So with Summit, I'm supplemental healthcare's team lead for all the surrounding Summit schools in Central Ohio and Southwest Ohio. I'm in my 6th year as an SLP, 5th year with supplemental healthcare. And currently I do have a full-time schedule. So I do work with children, but I also mentor 3 clinical fellows. And I think I really enjoy that. I like having both spectrums. So I get to work with the children and use the skills, but I also then get to show the skills to new SLPs. And I really enjoy that. And I like helping them. And I like to, I, as a clinical fellow, got a lot of support, but I also like to let them know that you do not have to know everything.
Thank you both for kind of sharing about what you're currently doing and your current experience. So this next question will start out again with Kristen. So what was your clinical fellow experience like compared to your experience as a mentor now?
So there have been some changes within this year, but I don't think, since my clinical fellow was only 6 years ago, or 5 years, but I got a lot of support, and I was always encouraged to ask questions. And so I bring that to my clinical fellows as a mentor. I'm always there for support and guidance, and always asking for questions, even when I haven't heard from them in a while. I'm like, is everything going okay? And I also want them to know, like I said previously, that you don't have to know everything coming out of graduate school, and don't be afraid to ask. And I also, I even continue as a mentor, sometimes still mentoring those who already got their C's. So, and I really like it. It's kind of nice that some people still come to you with some questions, and knowing that you're there to help not only the kids, but also people within surrounding you.
Yeah, that's really cool. That's awesome that you can still help those people, once they're fully working and everything. So Jackie, I'll ask you the same question. What changes have you seen from your clinical fellowship to mentoring now?
Well, my clinical fellow had a caseload of 70, and she, I did not really feel like she was that available to me. She had a good heart, and she was a great therapist, and I appreciated everything she did for me, but I just feel like it was not a priority at all with her. And I think that that's one of the great changes. I think what Asha has done to move to more of a, they want preparation and training for those who are interested in being supervisors. I think that's really a good thing that has happened, a good change that I've seen. And now we have so many great continuing education classes you can take to even really try to determine if you even want to, are interested in being a mentor, or if you think maybe you have the personality for it and you feel like you can make the commitment to it. So I think once you, I think those changes have been really good for our field. And I think you have to, I think if you're going to be a mentor, you need to have a little bit of training, you need to have some training, and you need to kind of have an idea of where you're going to go with that. And I agree with what Kristen said about clinical fellows you've had in the past. You do build a relationship with them, and it's wonderful to be able to then later call them for, what are we supposed to do about this? And they call you, and I love that, the relationships that I've been able to form with the clinical fellows I've worked with.
Yeah, that's great to hear. And I know 2020 has been quite a different year. So I'm sure that there's plenty of what are we doing now, with everything. So those are some really great changes that seem to be really impactful for future CFs and for mentors. So we're going to talk about some tips and tricks from your experience. What advice can you give the field of new graduates? Jackie, I'll start with you.
I think it's really important to be sure that you work in the area that you really try a few different things and work in the area that you love. It's too great of a profession to do something you don't like. So if you try it and you don't like it, then try something else. We have so many opportunities to do different things. And so that I would really, that's just the number one piece of advice I can give. The other one is to stay out of all the gossip crap that goes on in the schools, as far as we like her, we don't like him, we hate this principal, we don't like this person. Try to stay away from all of that, because especially as if you're moving around from school to school, that can really get overwhelming and depressing. And it's just, I would just encourage anybody who's new in the field to be very cautious about that. And never be afraid to admit you don't know what you're doing and saying, I need some help. We don't know. I mean, none of us know everything. We all need help. And so never hesitate to ask for help, and also pay attention to the people around you who you can learn from. Special education teachers and can give you so much wonderful information about making you a better speech language pathologist, because whether it's been years of experience or just they're really good at what they do. And also teachers can give you a wealth of information. So I just encourage people to learn from those who are around them.
Jackie pretty much said it all. I just remember, graduating. It's scary going into a new career, a brand new job, especially when you don't know anybody who you're working with. And like Jackie said, do not hesitate to ask questions, not only to your mentor, but also I think what helped me the most was I would ask questions to everybody in the school. I always went to the IEP coordinators. I went to the lead IS, went to her a lot, to compare notes and, did you see this when you were testing? And definitely ask questions. You don't have to go around thinking you know it all. It's okay, like Jackie said, it's okay to say, I'm not sure. Let me go find out. And I think everyone will respect you more for that, admitting that you really don't know, but you're going to go find out. But that's my number one suggestion is definitely ask questions. And there's always going to be somebody there to help you.
Can I say one more thing?
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to exit kids who need to be exited from services. I think sometimes each therapist thinks we have to keep them on forever, but don't be afraid to say it's time to let go of this kid and put them back full time in the regular education setting and pull away from them and let them do it on their own. And that's something that we should all constantly be wanting to do, is to get our kids out of special education services. And so I encourage people to do that.
Awesome. That's a good additional point. And then we just have one more question, I believe. And so talking about support, how has the support of the SHC team helped you? So we'll start with Kristen on this one.
I noticed over the years, supplemental has been there a lot, and they really do want everyone to succeed that they're helping. Personally, I've noticed that they're continuously always checking in with us, making sure all of our needs are taken care of, anything from paycheck issues to managing minutes with students. I noticed especially during this whole virtual time, we've had, within our little group, we've had team bi-weekly meetings. And I think that's helped everybody within our group and our team to feel that we're not alone. Somebody's always there, who's has the answers to your questions, but it's good to know that you're supported with any issues that might arise. And it also helps you to kind of see who else you're really connected to. Like for us, with all the Summit Academy schools around, it's really nice to put a face to that name, who works out there in Columbus or whoever lives out in Akron. So that's been really helpful. And I have to say that probably over the years, supplemental has really felt like family. I've noticed. I mean, they might ask not only how's your minutes coming, but with students, but they'll also ask, how's your family? So they do bring it down to a personal level to get to really know you. And I really enjoy it and like that.
Yeah, that's great. We really do feel like a family at SHC. I know I feel that way with the schools team, even though I'm on the marketing team. So that's great to hear that you've had that experience as well. So Jackie, what insights can you share about how SHC has supported you, and share a little on how SHC is different?
Well, I really like working for SHC because I've worked for the school district in some of the places I've lived, and I've also worked for some other healthcare companies, and I just love supplemental. The people the recruiters are so kind and helpful. I love that they check in with you. And I agree with what Kristen said about, they do care about you and your family, not just what you're doing at work. They know that all that is important and affects everything that we do. I think that they are aware of what they care about, what is best for you, and what, if you're not happy in a place or things aren't going right, they're always there to advocate for you, to encourage you. And Another thing I was thinking about was how much I love that that the compliance people send you notices and tell you when you need to do stuff, when you need to, do something that's expiring. You need to take this or send off for this, or I just appreciate that so much because I feel like I'm a pretty organized person, but those things can really slip up on you. And I think that's just wonderful. I'm so appreciative of that. But I think most of all, it's just knowing, they care about you personally, and you're not just out there by yourself. I agree with Kristen about feeling like you're part of a team, and that it just it makes it so much, you just feel the support at all times, and I just appreciate that so much.
Awesome. So thank you both for giving us a peek into your world and what differences that you both make with your students and for your mentees as well. So we'll have Joanna hop on and speak about the University Partnership Program.
Thanks, Katie. Thank you, Jackie and Kristen, for your stories. It's so great to hear your situations and your experiences and everything that you're contributing now to new grads and mentoring speech pathologists as they're progressing with their careers. So thank you both for all of the work that you're doing. As you've heard from our panelists, here at SHC, we have been working with new graduates for quite some time now, and we're absolutely thrilled that we can provide you with such a great partnership where no matter what stage you're at during your life, becoming a new grad, we can provide you with that support and really provide you with an environment that you're able to focus on those students' needs while really building your own skills. By partnering with SHC, we're able to expose you to job opportunities nationwide. We provide industry network connections. We use our clinical and industry insights to make sure we find the right fit for you. I can remember myself as a new grad, I didn't know what to do and I was so worried and confused and lost. And I remember going into a staffing agency myself and utilizing their services for help, and really having that career coaching that supplemental healthcare provides will get you off on the right foot and make sure that you have that going. We'll even help you with resume writing or set up mock interviews for you so you can practice. We've seen during this world of new virtual, lots of virtual interviews are happening, and it's so great that we can still have that connection and communication together this way. How we're able to do all of this is by giving you a trusted advisor. Our staffing managers are some of the best that we have. They're really invested in the work that you do and making sure that your work is meaningful and impactful. As you both mentioned, Kristen and Jackie, it's really all about the kids and making sure that our students are striving and being successful in what their goals are and what their accomplishments need to be. So if we are providing our therapists with that support and encouragement, we know that the kids are in turn getting that support and encouragement. So we really work with you to make sure that we're fitting together the puzzle pieces together. We want to make sure that you're in the right fit. And as Keely mentioned earlier, it's all about those relationships. Our advisors will provide you insight to clinical settings and the differences, all of the career opportunities out there. There's a huge world of travel positions and local positions, and there's per diem and direct hire and temp to perm. So our staffing managers will help you guide through that process. We'll give you advice and guidance on which career opportunities are the best for you, which facilities are going to provide you the most support and be the most beneficial for you, and really give you all of the facts so that you can make that informed career decision so that you and your family's needs are met, helping you to gain that experience that you desire. And flexibility. I mean, as you heard from our panelists, we offer a lot of different flexible solutions. If you want to carry a full caseload, or if you're just mentoring, as you progress your career, there are so many different opportunities. Even as we've seen now with the pandemic, there's been a lot of different virtual opportunities or travel opportunities. So a lot of different things that nobody really thought of before, but we're able to do those things. So we work with you, and we really make sure that we're, again, finding those positions that are going to be beneficial to you and be the right match for you. It may change over time, and that's okay. That's why we have so many flexible solutions, and that's why we're here for you. As Kristen mentioned, we're going to check in on you. We're going to see how you're doing. We're going to ask about your family, how things are, how is everybody doing, because we understand things are going to change. So we always want you to know that we are always available and here for you. That being said, Katie said we have the SchoolSolutions email. Feel free to drop us some emails there, or feel free to directly message us. We're always available to chat with you and would be happy to set up one-on-ones with you.
Perfect. Yeah, so if you guys do think of any questions, you can just drop those in the comments after if you're watching the recording, and we'll get you in touch with Joanna or someone else on our team to answer your questions. So kind of wrapping up, just talking about that support and the resources that we have a lot of great internal resources as well that kind of go beyond our mentorship program or just kind of that university recruiting partnership. So some of those we've had roundtables talking with some of our school professionals, just with everything changing with COVID-19. We had a SLP coordinator as well as a clinical fellow on that. And then we also have blog posts speaking about just how to boost your career, things that are happening within speech language pathology. We just had one come up about just like career benefits of having a mentorship program. And then we also have a partnership with .com Therapy. And so when you work with us, you have access to a bunch of their resources. So on the right side of the screen, there's some examples. There's just different games and activities for speech, as well as just like tips and advice for getting started in teletherapy or just anything you can think of. So that's been a really great partnership for us, as well as for our speech language pathologists and other school professionals. So just to give you a visual of the nationwide support that you have with SHC, these are kind of our leaders within the space and their phone numbers and emails and kind of where they oversee. But again, you could reach out to any of us or the schools, SchoolSolutions at shccares.com if you do have questions, and we'll get you connected to the right person. If you do want to follow us and find out more information, you can always follow us on social media as well as subscribe to our blog. So look out for more materials like this, more content like this. And again, thank you so much to our panelists and our moderators, you everyone for participating. And it looks like we don't have any questions right now, but I'll let everyone go and have a great evening. Thanks, everyone.